Latest football news,
engaging debates, and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside talk on IO Radio.
So kicking off the games this weekend, it is Leicester versus Liverpool, third versus fourth in the Premier League. And for Leicester, there's some bad news. Their fullback, James Justin, is expected now to miss the rest of the season after suffering a serious knee injury during the win over Brighton in the midweek. We wish him a very speedy recovery. For Liverpool, they're going to be without Fabinho, who's got a muscle problem, but it looks like their new deadline day signings of Ben Davies and Kabak could be both available for this game and could be starting both at centre-back. Another new lining in the defensive area for the Jurgen Klopp. But Piers, this is sort of a big game really here if we're thinking about this. Third v fourth. Liverpool had 2 losses in a row. They need to bounce back after that poor result to Manchester City to keep their top 4 hopes alive really at the moment. But for Leicester, a win for them can see them go back up into second.
Yeah, both teams in a bit of funny form. You know, Leicester dropping points last time out, obviously against Wolves. I think they've lost a key player, Justin. It's a real shame for them, really talented player. So I think they'll struggle with him. Liverpool, on the other hand, like we always say, they're injury FC as well. So, you know, they're going through similar problems. Obviously, a bad defeat against Manchester City 4-1, you know, key mistakes in the game. And I think Liverpool really want to bounce back. I think both teams have sort of been in similar-ish form, you know, games they should have probably won where they've dropped points or dropped silly points. But, you know, Liverpool, they've got the pressure of Chelsea and West Ham behind them. So I think Liverpool will bounce back. I think sometimes Leicester can sort of struggle against the big teams when it really comes to it, when the pressure's on them. So I think Liverpool will do well. I think they'll get the win, and I'm going to go for 2-1.
So it's Crystal Palace versus Burnley today, and for Crystal Palace, it looks like Wilfried Zaha is going to spend a little bit more time on the sidelines with his hamstring strain, which Roy Hodge doesn't know how long he'll be out for. For Burnley, Nick Pope and Jack Cork, who missed out on the defeat to Bournemouth on Tuesday in the FA Cup, have been welcomed back to the side, and Josh Brown could feature after missing the last 4 games. But Piers here, so quite a lot on the line here for both sides. Palace can go back up to 11th after that disappointing result to Leeds. Burnley as well, who currently sits 17th here. A victory for them will see them go 11 points clear of that drop zone. So for both sides, quite a lot riding on this.
Yeah, I think Palace will want to look to bounce back. I thought, you know, they really missed Zaha. I thought, you know, a couple of mistakes in the game just cost them against Leeds. I felt like they still had a chance of getting something there. Burnley got a draw against, you know, an informed Brighton team, I would say, a team that's done, you know, quite well. And for Burnley, if they get the win here, this will be huge for them. I would say that, you know, that sort of almost secures the bottom 3. That sort of, you know, saves them already. So, you know, it's a big task for both teams. Both teams obviously didn't get a win last time out. But I think that they're just going to sort of pace it out, see how it goes. I don't think anyone's going to try and, you know, grab the win here. I think it's going to be a draw, and I'm just going to go for a 0-0.
One of the biggest games this weekend, Manchester City versus Tottenham. And for Manchester City, Sergio Aguero, who's missed the last 11 games due to COVID-related reasons, could be available for Manchester City. Also, Ruben Diaz and Rodri are expected to recover in time from the illness and injuries, respectively. But for Spurs, there is no new injury news for Jose Mourinho, so he's got a full squad to choose from, despite losing 5-4 in the FA Cup on a Wednesday. But Piers, Manchester City, at the time of recording this, they could go 8 points clear here with a victory and possibly, I think we all could say, put a hand on that trophy already with the game in hand. But for Spurs, who got a win last time out, they got Harry Kane back. They look like they're in the mood despite losing 5-4 to Everton in the FA Cup. A victory here can only see them going 1 point off the top 4.
Yeah, it's a crazy one for Tottenham. I would normally back Tottenham for games like this. Normally, they seem to do all right against Manchester City, and with Jose Mourinho, you know what he's like against Pep and these big managers. He knows how to get a result. But as of lately, Tottenham aren't looking good. You know, the way that they play, they sit back and they look to counter, but their defence has been, you know, non-existent. You know, it's like, you know, a couple of ghosts playing. The ball just seems to go in too easy. You know, conceding 5 against Everton, you don't normally see that with Jose. So I think Tottenham are going to struggle if they're going to try and play that sort of football against a Man City side. I think of unbeaten in almost about 15 games. I think, you know, it's ridiculous. Man City are looking, you know, sharp at the moment, looking good. Big win against Liverpool. The players done well. I know Liverpool made a couple of mistakes themselves, but Man City still look great at a ground that they've always struggled at Anfield. So I would like to think that Jose would get his players revved up like he normally does, but I can't see it happening. I think Man City are going to get the win, and I'm just going to go for a 2-0 to City.
So it's Brighton versus Aston Villa here for the Saturday night game. And Adam Webster is a fitness doubt for Brighton because of his ankle injury he sustained against Burnley last time out. For Aston Villa, no new fitness concerns for Dean Smith's side, apart from Concert House is a long-term absentee for the side. But Piers here, Brighton undefeated in their last 5 games. That includes victories against the Leeds, Tottenham and Liverpool. For Aston Villa, I've been aside recently since they come back a bit on and off, losing and winning here. But a victory for them can only go 2 points off the top 4 at the time of recording this. And for Brighton, they can go up to 14th here. And the side that were looking relegation threatening at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a cracker of a game. I think it's 2 exciting teams. I think Brighton have been playing very well as recent. Obviously, a win over Liverpool and Tottenham, and Aston Villa got a win over Arsenal recently. So both teams beating big clubs. Both teams performed well this season. Like you said, Brighton had a poor start to the season, but now I think they're in their absolute prime. I think they're playing really good football. So I think both teams are going to go out. Aston Villa have had a little bit of hit and miss form. The last 5 has been win loss. So I think both teams are going to go out. I think it's going to be exciting. Plenty of talent on that pitch. I think it will end up in a draw. A draw in the end. I just think both teams are quite equal in their ability, and I'm going to go for a 2-2.